Feeling overwhelmed by the clutter while stuck at home? It might be time to reassess your belongings. When your space feels cramped and your stress levels are high, it's often a sign that you've accumulated more than you need. So today, we're going to look at the signs that you should purge unnecessary items from your life. Who start to dread coming home? After a tiring day at work, walking into a cluttered and chaotic space can increase your feelings of stress instead of providing the comfort you need. If navigating your living space feels more like a challenge than a comfort, it could be a sign that you are surrounded by more stuff than you need. Imagine a professional kitchen where utensils, ingredients, and equipment are not organized. Difficulty finding the right tool or ingredient can cause frustration and hinder the joy of cooking. Conversely, a well-organized kitchen where everything has its place can make preparing meals enjoyable and stress-free. For example, a workspace filled with piles of papers and forgotten projects. The daunting task of sorting through this clutter can be difficult, impacting productivity and creating a feeling of unease. When the thought of organizing a messy office or clearing out outdated files becomes overwhelming, it is often a sign that the clutter has become a significant source of stress. Bringing in a neutral third party, such as a professional organizer or a trusted friend who is not emotionally attached to the items, can provide a fresh perspective and streamline the process. By taking proactive steps to clean and organize, one can transform a stressful and chaotic environment into a harmonious and productive space, greatly improving both mental clarity and overall well-being. Think about the discomfort of having unplanned visitors arrive when your workspace is in disarray. If the mere thought of a colleague or client popping in without notice makes you anxious because your desk is cluttered with papers and files, it might be a sign that clutter is affecting your peace of mind. The stress of trying to quickly tidy up can overshadow the pleasure of a casual visit. Previously, dealing with a cluttered office was a regular struggle. Files were scattered, and even an organized desk often seemed chaotic. After adopting a strategy to reduce clutter and implementing simple organizational habits, the scenario changed significantly. Now, unexpected work drop-ins are welcomed rather than dreaded, and the improved order has positively impacted professional relationships. Similarly, if you're constantly struggling to locate important digital files or project documents on your computer, excessive digital clutter might be the issue. Imagine frequently losing track of essential documents in a sea of unorganized folders and desktop shortcuts. This can lead to frustration and delays, disrupting productivity. Since adopting a more streamlined approach to file management and organizing digital resources, the process of finding and accessing documents has become much smoother. With files stored systematically and a cleaner digital workspace, finding the right documents is now effortless. Except, of course, when a tech glitch or misplaced file name throws a wrench into the system, which, surprisingly, still occurs from time to time. Imagine walking into a room where the surfaces seem to be perpetually cluttered. The kitchen counters and dining table are constantly burdened with items, from mail and groceries to miscellaneous household objects, until they become barely recognizable. If this scenario sounds familiar, it may indicate that the sheer volume of possessions is overwhelming the available space. When objects remain untouched and accumulate on flat surfaces for weeks, it's often a sign that they're more of a burden than a benefit. The constant buildup of clutter not only creates visual chaos, but also contributes to stress and disorganization. Breaking free from the habit of cluttering every flat surface requires a shift in approach. The key is to regularly evaluate the utility of your belongings and ensure that each item serves a purpose. Start by systematically decluttering and removing items that no longer fit your needs or lifestyle. By creating designated places for everything and being intentional about what you keep, the once crowded counters and tables will transform into clean, functional spaces. This change not only simplifies your environment, but also enhances your overall well-being, making your living space more enjoyable and less stressful. The frustration of an overcrowded garage has long gone beyond just a place to store vehicles. Instead, it has become a place for items that never seem to find a home. If navigating your garage, basement, or attic has become a chore because of the sheer volume of items stored, it's a clear sign that the space is becoming overwhelmed with clutter. Imagine trying to access a once functional storage area only to find it filled with forgotten boxes, old tools, and unused equipment. This accumulation of stuff not only makes these areas unusable, but it can also create a sense of chaos and confusion about what lies beneath the clutter. If these spaces have become no-go areas where items are simply discarded, it's time to take a step back and assess the situation. A strategic approach to decluttering can restore these areas to their original purpose, making them useful again. By systematically sorting and organizing your belongings, you can regain control of these spaces, reduce excess clutter, and reclaim valuable storage areas. Picture a situation where the space under a couch is packed with old electronics, board games, and forgotten holiday decorations. This area has become a storage dump, and the clutter is so extensive that the contents are rarely, if ever, used. When storage spots turn into clutter zones filled with items that no longer serve a purpose, it's an indication of excessive accumulation. Using such spaces efficiently is fine, but it's crucial to ensure that the items stored are those that are still needed or actively used, rather than just a collection of forgotten objects. Consider a scenario where bookshelves in a study are overflowing with books and papers, to the point where finding a specific book or document is nearly impossible. When every shelf is crammed with old novels, manuals, and loose papers, it can hinder the ability to locate and enjoy the resources you actually need. If the bookshelves are so congested that they no longer serve their purpose of organizing reading materials, it's a signal that a decluttering effort is necessary. Reducing the volume of books and organizing them systematically can restore functionality and create a more pleasant reading environment. Imagine a kitchen drawer so stuffed with utensils, gadgets, and expired batteries that it's a challenge to find the spatula you need for cooking. When every inch of the drawer is filled with items, it becomes a frustrating exercise in searching for essentials. This situation often arises when there's a tendency to keep every kitchen tool or gadget, regardless of its usefulness. Clearing out excess items and organizing what remains can make kitchen tasks more efficient and reduce stress. Think about a desktop or smartphone that's cluttered with countless app icons, unorganized files, and outdated software. This digital chaos can make it difficult to find the tools and information needed for daily tasks. If the digital workspace is overwhelmed with unnecessary applications and files, it's a sign of excessive digital clutter. Streamlining and organizing digital resources, deleting unused apps, and consolidating files can improve productivity and ease of use. Consider a craft room where every surface is covered with art supplies, fabric scraps, and unfinished projects. When the room intended for creative endeavors becomes overwhelmed with excess materials, it can stifle creativity and make crafting more of a hassle than a pleasure. If the craft area is so packed that it's hard to find the tools and materials needed, it's time to sort through and declutter. Keeping only the supplies that are essential and organizing them neatly can enhance the crafting experience. Visualize a home gym where exercise equipment like dumbbells, resistance bands, and yoga mats are scattered around, often unused and gathering dust. If the gym space is cluttered with fitness gear that is rarely utilized, it indicates a need for decluttering. Streamlining the workout space by removing unused equipment and organizing the essentials can make exercising more inviting and effective. Often, a nagging feeling that there is too much clutter in a particular area is an intuitive sign worth addressing. If there's a persistent sense that a space is overwhelmed with unnecessary items, it's a prompt to take action. Begin with a focused effort to sort and simplify one area, which can lead to a more organized and satisfying living or working environment. If this advice resonated with you, consider subscribing for more tips and insights. See you next time.